So I realize that I do not talk about movie toys very often on Random Review, honestly because, yeah, I don't really like movie toys anymore. Interesting aesthetic when they first came out, but I feel like they got really sloppy and overcomplicated, especially in Revenge of the Fallen, which makes it all the more ironic that Revenge of the Fallen produced one of my favorite movie toys in this Voyager class, Mindwipe. I really like this toy for many reasons, and of course, it's a review, so I'll probably mention those reasons. First off, he is a stealth jet, and hey, I actually know what a stealth jet's supposed to look like this time, not a flying wing. He's done up in a very military shade of green, with hits of purple here and there, which I doubt is up to military code, but it does bring across just a little bit of the G1 Mindwipe, because of course, it's not a bat. Though I have seen this thing fan-moded into a bat. It's kind of hilarious. You can also see a few major details, like the Cybertron glyphs across the wings. I know not what they mean, but it's a little bit more interesting than just putting, like, I don't know, a giant faction symbol across the entire top of the vehicle. Yeah, they did that for the repaint of this toy as Strafe. It's not pretty, but what can you do? Meanwhile, here in the cockpit, you have translucent red with a very nice paint match to blend it into the rest of the vehicle. Always like and always appreciate a very good paint match. You can see little dabs of extra green paint here as well. Really only a little bit more showing through. You can see some of that more of a beigeish green color that we're going to see a lot more of once we get to robot mode. Beyond that, the detailing is very nice. You can see a lot of little marks and panels all over this little thing, but for the most part, it is very sleek and smooth, as you would expect a jet like this to be. Really, the only major molding is closer to the nose and the front, which we already took a look at, and a little bit more in the back, where you can see a little more components of the wings and the tail fins. That's really all there is to it. A little bit more here in the back, and yeah, not a whole lot of detailing, but that's to be expected. I do like the overall shape, though. I mean, it's a really cool looking jet. It's got a powerful look to it, but it still looks very sleek and stealthy. It's a nice balance. And it is based on a real-world jet, though you'll forgive me if the model escapes my mind right now. I'm not very good at remembering those kinds of things. I will tell you it has fully functioning landing gear, and by that I mean actual wheels that fold up and down, as opposed to little nubs that just keep it from scraping against the floor. Which can all fold up, and you can see, yeah, yeah, he's not trying to hide. Though I will give them credit. If you look at it from the side, there's really not a whole lot of undercarriage going on here, so it's a pretty compact and well-engineered toy. So, that's about all we can do for vehicle mode. He has no weapons we can plug in. However, if you happen to have a Scout class Sky Stalker, you can actually take advantage of these peg holes in the top and the pegs here on the bottom and actually connect the two together. In this kind of like Dreadwing situation. It's kind of a funny little thing, and the plastics aren't a dead-on match, but they are close enough to actually give you the impression that, they do belong together, that this is a matched set, a drone on top of the stealth jet. It's a cool little feature, and it really makes these two a nice little pairing and combination. And hey, look, they have matching faction symbols and everything. That's so cute. Okay, but that's Sky Stalker. We're talking Mindwipe, so let's go ahead and get transformation out of the way. Now, tried transforming. I had a lot of trouble getting this guy back into his jet mode, just because I don't know. There's a few things that don't completely peg together as tightly as I'd prefer. However, for the most part, if memory serves, the transformation's actually pretty smooth on this toy. Revenge of the Fallen, I mark as one of the worst movie lines, if not the absolute worst, just because it had it overcomplicated engineering so much. And man, this thing's really tight in there. Hang on. Sorry, I can't get it to disengage here. So we'll just go ahead and go to another step. But yeah, I kind of felt like Revenge of the Fallen was like really overcomplicated a lot of Transformer designs to the point where they just weren't fun to transform, you know? What was originally just supposed to be like, oh, well, it auto-transforms and everything, and, you know, it's supposed to be this neat little gimmick. I think, in order to preserve some movie accuracy, they went to incredible lengths to make sure the transformations actually worked, to the detriment of the toys. You can see it in like kind of like Mudflap, especially, and Mixmaster. And the toys are just unpleasant to play with. You know, and aside from a few things on this toy being particularly tight, you'll notice it's all fairly smooth and standard stuff. Like, nothing is really gone out of its way to like really be frustrating or annoying. Partially probably because he wasn't in the movie, so they don't have to worry about accuracy, which actually leaves him free to be a fairly decent toy that transforms fairly well. Now, we pan up and get more of him into the frame. We can see the full robot mode of our Voyager class Mindwipe. Granted, he does not look the G1 part. You'll notice there's only a couple colors here and there that even resemble the original, and those are mostly just the touches of purple. He is an all-green military machine with some bright orange showing through here and there. That's pretty much not Mindwipe, but I do like some of the I do like some of the attempts. I can see where the name comes from. First off, we'll show you the head, which has a very creepy appearance to it. It does kind of have a bat ear thing going on there on the sides of the helmets. It's a very cool visored look. Now, I will be honest. You can see the beady eyes on the other side of the visor. Those are painted, so they are intentionally standing out. I've gone back and forth whether or not I like the look of this, and right now I'm kind of in a, in one way it kind of sets the creepy vibe to the character, but in another, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. I kind of prefer the visored look personally, so I kind of would have preferred it being solid, but that's just me. Other than that, though, I really don't find much fault with the head sculpt. It's unique, it looks good, it works for me. Now, one of the features of the toy is, you can see, as most movie toys are, the Digitigrade Legs, and I can pronounce Digitigrade properly now, leading to things like this. See, I'm not a fan of this look. However, the toy is completely engineered to work without that, giving the legs a much more solid and much more standard look that I much prefer on this figure. Now, he does have a very strange aesthetic all around. You can see he's very skinny and narrow in some parts, but his shoulders are really wide, and he's barrel-chested. It gives him a very powerful appearance. Again, trying to mix the powerful and the sleek. And while I don't think it blends as well as the jet mode does, I'm happy enough with how it looks overall. You can see a lot more of the detail that shows through. For instance, and hang on, is that? I could swear there's a chest panel here that should have come up a little bit higher than it did. Yeah, well, maybe just my imagination. But you can see the intakes from the back, or exhaust, I guess, from the back, now kind of show up to the front. It's very Fallen in a way, how it's just kind of glowing through all of these crevices in his chest. I kind of like that. Other details that showed up, we now have some of the extra purple that was originally in the rear. A lot more of that beige-green plastic, just to break up the dark green lot, but still keeping him very military. I know, the bright orange is a bit of a throw-off. I think I would have preferred something that blended a little bit better, but beyond that, not too bad. What I really was looking for was more purple. You know, I think the orange would have looked better in purple. But, I don't know, that's just me. On the other hand, there is a bit of an automorph feature, a little bit of gimmick. When the wings fold out, you can see these little feathered missiles folding out, ready and armed to fire. It's a very small, subtle thing. I think just the fact that this folds in all by itself is actually cooler than the missiles as they are. I think this is one of the reasons why it actually became Mindwipe. Come to think of it, is this shape to the wing and actually giving it more of a bat-like appearance. And I think the tail fin kind of helps with that too, like big spiky bat-style ears if you look at it the right way. I don't know, I think the homage is just there enough for me to really see where they get the name. Beyond that, you do have these, which are one of the major features. Notice the cockpit, all translucent plastic, is now forming these underhanded daggers. This is really unique and really cool. While he is unable to remove them since they are gimmicked in and actually spring-loaded, I do like the look of it. And they are gimmicked a little bit to where you can... hang on. Oh, hook in. I know you can do it. I've seen you do it. Okay, that's frustrating. It's supposed to hook in. It's supposed to hook in there, but it's not going to do it for me today. Oh, there's supposed to be a latch gimmick where you can see where it latches. You can see that switch that unfurls it. Unfortunately, for some reason, it's not going to cooperate for me. So, I don't know. Stay tuned after the outro. If I figure out how to get it to work, I will show it to you. So, I do like the underhanded dagger look, though. This adds to the creepiness, as it's a very unusual and much more brutal looking. Where he's just like downward stabbing into things, and I don't know. It's a cool look. I like it. It works for our movie style Mindwipe. Now, for articulation, we do have a fully ball-jointed head, which actually has a hinge on it too, so you get a little bit more range of movement than usual. The shoulders are completely universal onto very well-placed hinges, allowing full motion and rotation. Bicep rotation. There's 2 elbow joints, but the kibble is actually going to keep it at a 90 degrees, but 90 is what I usually expect and want out of a figure. We have a waist rotation, universal thighs, a little bit of ratcheting to them, a thigh swivel, as well as a very deep knee bend. And yeah, we saw with the ankle, there is a lot of play in it, though no side to side. So what you get is a very decent articulation in a very, very good toy. So, all in all, I'm thrilled with the figure. Mindwipe still continue. I'm complimenting you. Don't ruin this. You're about to get away as one of the few movie toys I've given a really good review to. Don't spoil it now. Stay. As said, he does manage to retain a lot of my favor. Movie toy aside, Revenge of the Fallen aside, it's just a plain good toy. And really one of the highlights of the entire line, which is kind of an unfortunate thing considering he wasn't in the movie. You'd think it would be a Bumblebee or an Optimus or something like that, but no. Mindwipe is where it's at. Very solid toy, very well engineered, very cool and unique look. All works together very well for me. I got it to work! The wrist wouldn't bend down far enough for the first attempt. I don't know why.